With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below. Over the course of the past couple years, I feel like anything a person says in their present life or their past life, or hell, even their future life, will be used against them. Not in a court of law, but like a kangaroo court of people who are idiots that like to overreact to particular comments. Now look, free speech is something that I very much champion, and if you aren't using your free speech to call for the death or violence of others or the destruction of private property, I don't quite care what you have to say. It's your belief, your thought, your voice, your truth, and that's something that we all have the right to in this country. However, if you are a conservative and you're a video game developer, you may never want to tell anyone because your days could in fact be numbered. Now, it says here that Subnautica developer and sound designer Simon Chylinski became the target of a social justice-driven hate mob on Twitter after he shared tweets by conservative journalist Paul Joseph Watson. I don't know if I would call Paul Joseph Watson a journalist. I would pretty much equate him and I on the same level in terms of effectiveness. Although he is way more aimed at propaganda. I just like to tell dick jokes. Now, Chylinski was subsequently fired by his employer at Unknown Worlds following a sustained campaign over the weekend by social justice activists on both Twitter and the ResetERA Gaming Forums, who called on the developer and publisher to act against him. Now, if you don't remember what the ResetERA of Gaming Forums are, a few months ago, it turned out that Tyler Malta, who was the owner of NeoGAF, the largest progressive gaming forum on the web. By the way, they're full of bigots and racists in there too, but they're fine as long as they're part of the echo chamber. Came out that Tyler had maybe got himself in a little bit of trouble in terms of like some sexual harassment type stuff. So overnight, essentially, NeoGAF tanked. Oh, it tanked. So the guy who could never get into E3, even when he had the hottest gaming platform, forum on the web with like millions and millions of monthly viewers, has now permanently never been able to get into E3. So, ha 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 ha. You suck, Tyler. But they all went over to this new place, this ResetERA, and trust me, it is like the Mos Eisley of SJW nonsense. It is the hive of scum and villainy. This is horrible, horrible stuff there. And all they want to do is basically witch hunt. All right, these are like the stormtroopers for the Me Too movement is the best way I can describe them. Now, Subnautica is an underwater survival game filled with eerie noises and a haunting soundtrack, for which Chylinski is responsible. Over the weekend, the outraged crowd discovered an old set of tweets by game director Charlie Cleveland, who set up a poll in 2016 asking players if they prefer if Subnautica added the option to play as female or improve the core game. Dumb question to ask, to be fair. That's a really dumb question to ask. I mean, probably more done tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, I mean, 2016, you're still 4 years into the Anita Sarkeesian era. Even though her relevance at the time is pretty much dead, do you really want to risk invoking the ire of the SJW in the gaming industry, especially the indie side of things? No. No, you don't. As evidenced here. Now, implementing a female character into the game would require an immense amount of work, including model rigging, animations, outfits, voice acting, and changing both the storyline and the core gameplay. Naturally, most of Subnautica's player base voted to improve the core gameplay. Now, following a barrage of complaints, Cleveland deleted the post, prompting Chylinski to joke that developers needed to diversify sliders and options to make the character progressively darker-skinned, more feminine, or less attractive. Which is, could go over well. Maybe. The resurfacing of Cleveland's poll prompted the same outrage mongers to pursue Chylinski's other tweets, discovering that he had retweeted Paul Joseph Watson about the Swedish Prime Minister's plan to deploy the military in its Islamic no-go zones, which the Swedish mainstream media attempts to downplay. Keep in mind that this is Milo Yiannopoulos' website, so anything involving Swedish military and no-go zones in Islam is going to basically be treated like it is in fact the devil. Whether or not it is, I don't know, I'm not from Sweden. Chylinski, who is from Poland, sent Sweden his condolences, writing, "People aren't blank slates that can be reprogrammed simply by being new to a country. Importing random people from the third world is also importing third world tier crime rates and IQ." Ooh, that feels like it's a kind of borderline race realism there. Not coming out and saying it, but getting kind of close. If you start looking like, oh, third world IQ, come on, dude. Like, I think I get what you're saying there, but at the same time, you could have chosen your words a little bit better. But then again, this could be the whole translation issue here. If he's Polish, he could have said something entirely different, and then just the way that we translated it didn't work out very well. Now, in another instance picked apart by social justice warriors, Chylinski responded to noted Canadian behavioral scientist Gad Sad's tweet about YouTube's gender identification poll. Helicopter, the attack kind, showed Chylinski playing on the comment joke about identifying as an attack helicopter, which is often written in response to Tumblr's claims that there are more than two genders. It is one of my favorite memes, I'm not going to lie. This tweet, along with his retweet of Paul Joseph Watson, were seen as transphobic and racist and ultimately became the main subject of the complaints to the employer. Oh, wow. Okay. This is what we're dealing with here. Two people who sparked the hate mob were Queer Queenie and Dijon de Jour were successful. Chylinski, who was working on full-time on an expansion pack for Subnautica when the complaint surfaced over the weekend, confirmed to Dangerous that he was fired today. And that, come on, man, really? Again, it's like earlier I talked about that dude who dropped the N-bomb on the thing. He was fired from the movie he's going to be in. Why not use it as a teachable moment to talk to people about their problems, about their beliefs, like to have that discussion? It's just, you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar, goddammit. Now, Chylinski says that his employer terminated his position because of the Twitter hate mob and not for any other reason. He says that following the uproar on ResetERA and Twitter, two of his superiors pulled him aside and asked if he stood for what he wrote on Twitter. He says, I said that I honestly didn't see anything wrong with it. I don't feel like I need to pretend not to know anything about statistics and political realities. Chylinski says that the issue his superiors took issue with was mostly, strangely enough, his tweet about identifying as an attack helicopter. This. Oh my God. That is funny. That is really funny. They began asking me how I would react if they hired a Muslim or a trans person. I said I'd debate them like anyone else on the team if I disagreed with them. They said that this would create an unwelcoming working environment and that they see it as a problem that almost only white men are working there and they need more diversity and that what I said would make it difficult to achieve. It's like diversity, and has it just gotten to the point now where diversity is just affirmative action? Right? Like I feel like it just completely takes away from a meritocracy, right? From being the best person for the job. That's how you get the job. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in. Now, the sound designer was quick to defend his former employers to Dangerous, saying, these guys are not bad people. I don't want to paint them that way. They're very talented, and on a personal level, they're very nice to be around. And while that could be, I'm sure that's very true, you have to understand, too, that these guys are, again, they're hit with a huge push online from these people, from these SJWs, from these regressives that want blood, and they won't stop until they get it. And that is kind of, I think, the position that these guys find themselves in. And I understand their actions. I don't appreciate it. I don't acknowledge, I don't respect it. But I understand where they're coming from. On Kotaku, game director Charlie Cleveland wrote, over the weekend, we discovered that one of our team members had made many hateful statements online that are against our company values. After discussing the matter with him, we decided to stop working with him immediately. That feels like they really kind of oversimplified the situation. We discovered that he had said hateful things on the internet. Like, I identify as an attack helicopter? Huh? Right? Like, what? That's the big one. You got a problem with that? Like, I mean, I understand that attack helicopters have killed many people, but they're like pit bulls. It's nature versus nurture. What the hell, man? Now, Chylinski says that he believes that they simply didn't know how to react to the Twitter mob, so they fired him, but he understands their decision, saying, I think I should have the freedom to express myself without being fired, adding that he thought that the company would only distance itself from his opinions and reprimand him privately instead of making a public spectacle of his termination. This is the thing, though, is you can't. You can't get away from the spectacle. All right, because it's and not to kind of the best way to describe it, ultimately, it's kind of like it's persecution, right? They don't want to be persecuted, so they come out. This is they're going to turn on their people that they know in order to make sure that they don't get blamed themselves. Because if they would have defended him, then they would just get hit with, well, all you have are white people who work there, and everyone there is a racist. And Poland recently had that situation about like the white nationalists in Poland or something, or the nationalists in Poland, predominantly white anyway, So that could have been used against them. I mean, I understand the boss's situation. I understand their predicament. I don't agree with it. I don't think what this guy said was like, like, oh, round up all the freaking Syrians and throw them back to their country or nothing. He just, has his opinion. And now we're in an age where your opinion, and it's not even in the United States, which means it's spread, which is sad. Even though most of these people came from the United States and probably aren't going to buy the game anyway. Doesn't matter. You piss off the wrong people, your livelihood is over with. Welcome to 2018. We're all screwed.